Hello and welcome to part 14, and in this part we're going to look over creating some freight networks, because to be honest the freight side of things have been quite neglected in the previous parts, so that's what we're going to do. So what we want to do obviously in the series is connect everything across the map, every freight point, every industry, every town, and what we should probably do is looking at the areas we've already constructed around to see what freight networks would be best to construct at this time. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see what freights are currently paying the most money, which we can do in our cargo payment rates. So at the moment it's coal, oil's about halfway down, livestock, and I'm guessing, yeah, passengers is near the bottom. So coal's going to be a good suggestion, of which we have already a coal route here. And somebody did already point out that I did forget to actually put this link the coal mine up to this station. So one idea could be to expand this coal network. I mean, let's see, at the moment we have one power station there, which is all fine and dandy, but I mean there's a power station here as well, so let's make that our first port of call. So what we'll do is we'll create a second train which runs from here up to this new power station, and we'll connect this this coal mine up to it as well. So let's create the branch line station which will service this power station here. Now shall we have it come from this main line, or shall we use the branch line? The branch line would be preferable, wouldn't it? So let's create a siding here and re-signal this area. Let's just turn these into block signals. And we'll create a siding up here for this power station, remembering to put a signal back on for the main line. This one's going to be nice and easy, at least. It's literally just one offshoot, nothing much to do. Let's find our industrial stations, which would be these. Whereabouts are they? Fixtures, stations. Let's use the unloading station, so we'll have a 5-wide station, and we'll put a buffer stop on the end. Like so. I think this will do it. There we are. Not that you can see it. And that's pretty much that route done. I'm just going to check this the preceding route just to make sure that we have the capacity for a 5 tile long train, which it does seem like we do. This point's already checked anyway down here, so that's fine. And what we will do is let's build a second platform here, which is how are we going to do this? Because I am cautious that I don't want to build too close to here. Should we maybe relocate the station to this side? That could be a good idea, couldn't it? Let's remove this, lower this land here, which will mean demolishing those houses. And let's try build it out of the way as much as possible. So what we'll do is get the platforms once more, the same ones we were working on before, which are these stations, mineral silos, and we'll create a 5 long set of platforms there and buffer the ends of them. So that can be the platforms. Now can we kind of sneak a railway through this little section here? I mean, demolishing one house, I think we can, and we can actually remove that section as well because the train isn't in the platform. There we go. So that is going to be a little bit better, I think, because now we can remove this platform, remove this railway, and the town has a little bit more space to expand upon. Not only that, but we also now have room for the lorry depot, which we shall put there, and we'll connect this road like that. Let's build a lorry station here, and what we'll do is demolish this and build the other lorry depot there, like so. Okay, what we'll do lorry wise is we'll literally just have a few lorries which fully load at the coal station and then make it over to the train station, because it's not a very long route. So here to here, fully load, but we will have to make sure that we tell it to transfer and to not load, because it will, and to not load, otherwise it will just perpetually take the coal from that station, which we don't want it to do. So that's that one done. We'll make 3 copies of that vehicle. In fact, let's say 4, because we have quite a long lorry depot. And go. And then we'll just add these up to clear them up. So we'll call this the Flonhill Coal Shuttle. And place them in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now obviously what we'll need is a second train which can run to the new coal station. The power station, should I say. And we'll make it a class 67 because it's going to be quite fast. And we'll have to use monster boxes. These ones here. Are there no faster coal lorries? No, there's not. So it's going to be limited to 70 miles an hour, I believe. Oh no, there's one here for 92 miles an hour. We'll use this one. Refit it to coal, and then you can fully load here. And obviously visit the power station, of which both shall be non-stop. And then we will call this. That's the little Brentborough power thing is probably going to be a bit too long. Let's call it the LB Coal Runner. Makes a bit more sense. And let's pop this into the Flonhill Coal group. There we go. So we have the second coal train in service here. Let's just make sure these lorries are going to work correctly, which they are. That's good. Don't know how that lorry's kind of intersecting the first one, but hey ho, do what you need to do. There we are. So we've linked up that coal station there. Now, let's have a check what's going on here. Are these still making money? Yes, they are. Because we still have, although we don't have the oil well route running, we still do have the livestock and grain, which is quite handy. What we should probably do is see about some long distance freight journeys. Now, the one thing I do like to do is I would like to make use of all these oil rigs here. Now, what if we are going to use these? We'd be best taking the oil to a refinery around this section of the map. So let's have a look. Yes, so there's a refinery here. This could be our northern oil depot. So if we can get all this oil and take it up, that should get us quite a bit of money. Now, for us to do that, it does look like we have kind of 2 congregations of oil rigs. We have this section down here, and then there's this section here. What would be nice would be to maybe make 2 train depots which will service these oil rigs. It does look like this would be a good candidate for one here. And somewhere around here would be good as well. Perhaps this empty land just there. That's what we should do. We should create this oil network, and we'd have to make sure that this line here is accommodating of the freight routes, because we don't want to slow down the express services. So that's what we'll do. The first step is we'll create the depots for the stations here and at the other end, and then we'll forge a route which those oil trains can take, which, keep in mind, they basically trying to avoid as much express lines as possible. So let's do that. Let's first of all create the depots. So I'm going to quickly just put this road in here, because that is something which we'd probably have to do at a later date, and I would like to work around these kind of things, because I don't want to move the depots later on. So I'll quickly just put some roads in for these towns. So this is where the oil depot would be. Let's get our stations, and I'm going to say 4 trains per depot, which can obviously be loading. So let's see which one would be the most appropriate to use. Grain loading, livestock, mineral, high security. That could be a good one, considering it is oil. Paper loading's obviously a bit irrelevant. What does the high security one look like? Also, should we make them a bit longer? I'm going to say 7 tiles. Wow, that is one big station. Let's experiment a bit. What does water pumping look like? A bit full on. Freight station, just generic freight station. That looks pretty good. I like that. We will stick with this one. So let's put the buffers at the end of the platforms. And we'll obviously have the other end here. We'll need a depot for the oil trains to be serviced at and to be started from. In fact, that's not what we should do. So let's join it onto the main line, and we could do so here using this tunnel to avoid actually going over the main line itself, which does work out quite well actually. It's quite handy we have this tunnel. So why don't we do this? Once this bus has passed, I'm going to move this bridge back by 1 tile. In fact, I'll do it at both ends. Let's get rid of that and that. Move these in and rebuild this bridge. Because then, if I just quickly replace that, we'll have the junction at this end. And, whoops, let's remove that tile just so the train can go. We'll get rid of that. Let's put a signal here and here. And this is where, this section here, this is where the junction can be for the local kind of siding for this station platform. Now let's create the other side of the line as well. So let's remove this down here, and this junction can be just there. Now, what I want to do is just make sure that the route that we choose to use can accommodate a 7-tile train as well. So once we've created this, we'll go along the route and just examine what we actually have to make sure that it's adequate for the services that we want to put on. It's going to feed these into the station. Let's put this one over here. And that should be fine. We'll just create a bay for a depot, like so. Let's pop some signals down. And this is 1 depot completed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll put a signal there. So this is one of our depots completed. Now, let's rename this to Plentbridge Oil Docks, because there will be a set of docks as well, obviously for the oil rigs. So let's put that here. Now, we will create, where is going to be best? If we create an oil depot here, is that going to affect this line heavily? I mean, it is only a branch line. There doesn't seem to be many trains on it. So at the moment, from this main station, there is only, is it 2 trains? Yeah, there's only 2 trains, and that one's a rare train anyway. So I think that should be okay, shouldn't it? Let's create the other oil depot here. So if we raise this land in, go back, we'll make our buffers there. And then the stations, which we use as the freight station, 6, 7, can be created like so. And we're going to have the platforms come down like this just because of that farm there, which is precariously in the way. So what we'll do is, that can be the lines going out, and we'll have the depot just here alongside this farm. So let's, in fact, we may need a little bit more space, mightn't we? Let's just connect these on here and create some signals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's cutting it quite tight. In fact, let's expand the branch line just this way slightly, just so we have space for at least just 1 oil train to wait at a platform should it need to be. Then we're not affecting any passenger services. Let's put these here, and then we can literally pretty much do what we want with this junction. Let's put all these platforms down here though, so we'll let's create these. That's going to need to go down there. So every platform can be serviced by every line. Yep. Okay, so that's fine. And then our depot, which will have to go down here, that can go alongside the farm like that. We'll just remove these lines here. 1 more signal there. That should be fine. And then let's put our platform signals in. There we go. So that is going to be our second depot. So let's call this Garningwell Oil Docks. Create the actual docks for them as well. And we'll also need to create one of the ship depots, won't we? Let's put another one up here as well. Put it this side. Okay, so we now have 2 oil depots. Let's check here. So 7 tiles for this route. So this is fine because there are no junctions. That's going to be okay. The only consideration is going to be this station. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, it might be okay, you know. So the problem we've got is, so let's say a train is waiting at this station. 7 tiles. It's actually going to overhang over the station. How do we come around that? How do we overcome this? We could create a bypass to the station, but there doesn't seem to be the space for it. Or we can extend the signal space outwards, so there's more space. So for instance, if we destroy that and pin back these signals, you see. Oh, not what I meant to do. So if we give, say, an extra tile here, it would be waiting a bit further up, so then we'd have 6, 7. Yes, so that would be fine. If we can move these signals up just by 1 tile, that would mean that it's going to be okay. There's going to be no congestion at the station. Moving up here, so that will be fine. Through here. This junction will be a consideration, but we do actually need to work out what we're going to do. Now, we could have the trains avoid this line here, which is, well, it's only used by a high-speed rail, and it does seem to be quite a busy line, you see. Well, yeah, there's about 4 or 5 trains on it. We could instead create a junction here, like an arc almost, and have the trains use these lesser used branch lines. It's maybe a better shout, you know. Let's do that instead. So what we'll do is, we're going to need to create a curve here on the platform I've literally just made. So what we'll do is, first of all, I'm just going to get rid of that lake because that's going to become quite annoying. Let's remove this little road here. This town can expand that way if it wants to. And what we'll do is, we'll create a railway which goes underneath this and then joins on here to the main line. In fact, we could do it up here near this junction. Let's incorporate it into this, you see. Right, so if we have the main line come off like that, so then the branch line services can just use this, obviously to get back onto the main line, but our oil trains can use it to get onto the up line going to towards Warnpool. So let's do that instead. We'll put a junction there, and here, and then we'll need to have a signal there and there, and actually here as well. And then we'll create these lines on like that, underneath this siding we previously created. And then we'll just add a few signals just to give them some waiting time. We'll just need one there, I think. Yeah, so this will basically let us bypass the main line. What I'm going to do is create a waypoint which we can force the freight trains to use this line through. Should we create it as a signal box? We create one there. In fact, it'd be better as that one, wouldn't it? Yeah, so we'll do that. And we'll just call this the Brentborough bypass. Because it does mean we're going to bypass the express line. Now, what we're going to do with Warnpool, because this is too small, we can't really extend the platform out. What I am thinking is we could maybe create a bypass route which goes around this kind of conurbation here. Could be a good idea. In fact, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So it'll join there, use this this track up to this point at which the line will diverge. So let's have the same kind of junction as before, like so. Signal these now, just so trains currently using the line aren't affected. And we'll bridge this, making sure I'm very aware that there's buses using this route as well. Which thankfully didn't actually decide to turn round or anything, which I was quite surprised by. So we'll have this go underneath here, and then we'll create a bridge here. Thankfully we have the funds to do this kind of thing now. We have 13 million, which isn't anything to be snuffed at. And what we'll do is create a truss bridge. Oops, nope, it will be a cantilever bridge. Create a second bridge there for the road. And at this point, the line can turn right. May have to actually make this bridge a little bit wider, just so it can accommodate a curve. Whoops. Just noticed that that actually knocked my recording. I kind of dragged down the recording box, so I'll put that right. Okay, so then yeah, we can just come around this hill here, can't we? And come back onto the main line. It's quite an elaborate solution, I believe. I am quite happy with the solution, though. Hopefully we can use a few more freight trains on it, so to give its existence a bit more purpose than just a single oil route. And then we'll have it run perpendicular to the line here, up to this station. Can't really get around that station any other way, that's why. So we're going to have the junction there for that side. In fact, we could probably, with how this is designed, I mean, that lines up there, doesn't it, perfectly. So what we could do is, let's pull this back. If we actually pull back this line as well, making sure to put in that signal that I just removed, we could actually tunnel under there and create a bypass. Yeah, we could, couldn't we? There we go, that's a good idea. So we'll put a path signal here, and then there'll be one there as well, won't there? And then we can start signalling backwards, so we'll have these every 10 spaces. There we go. Let's make sure it's done it. Yep. All the way back. So that's the bypass, the Warrnambool bypass done. Will we need to waypoint the route? We might as well, just to be safe, because I don't want them, if this route's, for instance, taken or something, I don't want them going through Warrnambool. So let's force them to go down this path. So let's call this the Warrnambool bypass. Okay. So that's fine. It'll go through Flondwood, through Tyndinghatton, which is too small, because that is a reverse station, isn't it? How can we do this one now? There's only one train that uses this, which reverses back down this line here, which is what I'm thinking. Now, do we create a base station for that single train? Or do we basically extend the platform? I think creating a base station would be quite cool, but it's whether it's really worth it, to be honest. For now, we'll extend the platform, but later on we may come back and make a bay platform. 6, 7. It only needs to be one tile, a one tile expansion, and it is very easy to do, at least, because of the layout of the station. So let's just do that. Let's get these in. Extend the signals, like so. Right, so that's Tyndinghatton finished. Then we go on to Drinley, which is another, yep, so 7, which is another one which is going to need extending. Let's think. What I'll do is extend this side of the station here. Can we do it without actually removing that bridge? we may be able to. Yeah, so that's all we need to do, isn't it? Then 7. Yeah, so that's fine. I'll actually just create a platform for this one here. I'll just extend the platform down because it is a bigger station as well. So island platform, let's literally just put one there. Whoops. And we'll put a single-sided platform at the edge platforms too. There we go. So that's fine. It can go through here. Then I'll go down this branch line, making sure to use the peak line. Oh, that's fine. I wondered why this train was waiting. Should we put a signal there? If we put a signal there, that's going to have to wait there, isn't it? Yeah, and then if there was a train going down the branch line, it couldn't... Okay, that's fine. We'll do that as well. So just a small edit. Go through this branch line, and then here we're going to have a diversion, aren't we, down this route. What we could do is I really would like to try and incorporate it into a passenger route. I mean, look, this is going to be so difficult to build for this town. So let's create the route in full. So alongside the oil route that we're going to create down this line, we'll also put in place the passenger services that will actually use it too. It'll probably be a good idea, just so we won't be rebuilding anything later on, and so we can take everything into consideration when we're actually making our construction. Wow, this is going to be a tricky place to build, isn't it? Can we flatten that? Right, okay, so that's the level we can build up there, isn't it? If we get rid of that, I think 3 platforms would be enough. If I can just squeeze 3 platforms in here, I'll be happy. Right, get rid of there. And then we'll have a road that comes down this section here, so it can build on the other side. And we'll put some buffer platforms right at the end. Join it onto the existing bus station, of course. And where's the other one? I'm looking for the that one there. Then we'll have the bay platform almost. This is going to be quite a busy station, so let's actually give it a canopy. And there can be benches down there and a board. So that's 2. We'll make it 4 long, this station. So I'll just create the station for now. Once I've created the line, I'll come along and see how we can incorporate the routes into it, as in where the trains will go and things like that. Right, so that's where the station can be. See, for now, it's probably just going to be a case of we'll have a service from Luhatton, but we'll try and incorporate it into the network best we can. So, wow. If we can... This is mainly going to be a branch, isn't it? So what we'll have to do is... Can we build down this way? So the line itself is going to run down here, isn't it? Predominantly. It's going to run just somewhat round here. And there's going to be a line which extends down there. Then we're going to have to incorporate a depot in here. It's going to be quite a busy space, really. Okay, so this looks like the best place for the line which goes around. Just flatten these areas. And then we can bridge this, can't we? Can we? No. We can if we flatten that. But then the... Oh, man. Okay, so let's do this. And we're going to have a road up there just for a few houses. Bridge there. So that's fine. I'll make the station in Ranpool, just so I know where this railway is going to be going, and it looks like it'd be best down here, so that's where I'm heading. So let's make that railway go around there. We could maybe try and make this as like a loop station, so if we can have just 2 platforms, I'd be happy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could... Oh, it's 7, isn't it? Wow, this is going to be tight. We could have them there as bay platforms. It might not even have an option here. That might be the only way we can do it. Man. Why don't we do this? So this is the entry point. If we put these as the exit points here, so that can be a case of the trains basically have to wait there. That's where it joins back onto the main line. Then, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're gonna have to extend the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we'll have to extend out a little bit into the sea. Where are our platforms? Our platforms, where are they? Okay. Let's have them as the freight stations, 6, 7. And they can immediately turn this way. Like that. In fact, we could do that, couldn't we? I don't like that 90-degree turn. But, yeah, that's all it would really need, isn't it? Because if we had a path signal there, yeah, okay, that would work. And then there. Link that like that. It's kind of realistic. I'm very cautious of using things which wouldn't look applicable in real life. But if you did have a depot at a docks, you do tend to find that quite a lot of the time it's very compact, very 90-degree turns, and kind of, you know, a lot of them build themselves on roads and such as well. So I can kind of see how this would work in a real-life situation. One example I can think of is Sunderland docks, which does use a similar kind of layout as to what we've just built. We'll put in some signals here and here as well. There's one there for passing trains. Right, so that's going to be Ranpool Oil Refinery. Okay, so now what we'll do is basically connect this railway up to the main line. What I'll say is, because of the time we've spent on this part, I'll do that in the next part. I won't make a 0.5 part in between these where I'll tweak things. I'll literally just go straight to the next part where I'll carry on this because I want to get this finished off. So, that's obviously been this episode. Thank you a lot for watching, and hopefully we can see this completed in the next part.